What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Atriox, and welcome back to another Mortal Kombat video. So it's finally the day for this video, and I'm nervous to see what you guys think, because like I've put a lot of time and effort into this video, and I want it to be good for you guys. I want you guys to enjoy it. I feel like I kept looking at the video and I kept changing things, so I kind of like just want to get it out so I can get out of that thing, because I keep just changing things and I don't want to do it anymore, because otherwise the video will never come out. So I just kind of want to talk about a few things before we get into the story. If you guys want, stay to the end. The end, we're going to be talking about the next story as well. Next story is going to come out probably sometime around April. I want to say April, maybe May-ish, depends on where I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna I'll take like a week break and then just start planning out how I'm gonna get the next story out, because I want to make sure it's good, you know, because I want to make sure everything is in a better state and not rushing to the end like this project. Like, I literally finished it last night, so you know, I just wanted to make sure that everything is good and copacetic, right? So anyways, yeah, so the first story is just going to be following Raiden and Liu Kang, and the relationship is going to be similar as, you know, Mortal Kombat 11, where it's like master student, but this is more in depth. I feel like, you know, Liu Kang has a lot of emotions to process, and I think Raiden, being the support he's been for Liu Kang throughout his life, has always been, you know, that aspect of it. And also, I want to just talk about a few of the choices I chose for lore in this game have pretty much been sprinkled throughout Mortal Kombat, so there might be some things that, you know, you guys might question, but like certain, like Liu Kang's you know, the way he grew up, I kind of took the animated route where, you know, if Raiden found him as an adopted kid, and adopted him as a kid and trained him. That's kind of the route I took with this, just so it's more of an emotional thing with Liu Kang and Raiden. So there are like little liberties like that I've taken to kind of do that. And obviously the story is not a one-for-one with Mortal Kombat 11 and Mortal Kombat 1. I wanted to follow the lore as close as possible without also like having a little creativity to kind of push it, the story the way that I wanted to push the story, you know what I mean. So then the next thing I wanted to talk about was keeping the characters as close to lore as possible. Like, I tried to keep their mannerisms and everything, I tried to keep it as close to possible as I could. You know, obviously I'm not really ready for Mortal Kombat, but I know like kind of how this sounds, obviously being part of being a fan of Mortal Kombat for 30 years, and you know, just being a huge like this lore geek about that type of shit. I wanted to make sure that like I kept with that process as much as possible. So, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed the dialogue aspect of it. Obviously, I'm gonna work on it. I think I have a different way I'm gonna do it for the next project, but for this one, I think this came out well enough for me to be okay with it releasing and stuff like that. So the next question, more of a statement, not really a question. So the voice actors I have in this project are from all over the place, really. The Shang Tsung voice actors from Nigeria. I think Kronika's voice actor is from I think she said she's from the UK, if I remember correctly. It's been a few weeks since I talked to her, so my memory might be a little hazy. But some of the other voice actors are from America, I believe. And the reason I mention that is because some of the enunciations and stuff like that might sound a little off when you hear it. But, you know, don't judge them too harshly, because obviously they're from all over the place and they really helped me out with this project. And especially like outside of just a project, they always help me understanding how the voice acting and hiring and stuff goes. So like they did a lot for me in the background, and like the next time I do it, I know how a better way of getting everything done. So, you know, I want to thank all the voice actors that did this here and helped out with the project. So, you know, that's kind of like, I just wanted to quickly say that so that you guys understand that some things might sound a little off when you hear it, even when you hear it in the project. But you know, it's my first story. It's the first story for the channel, so I hope you guys enjoy it regardless. And I kind of wanted to quickly just go over those few things real quick before the story comes out. Like I said, stay to the end, and I'm gonna be going over this is like a quick prequel to the next story. And I think there is a lot of good things about this story that I want to get out. And like I said, I'm gonna separate the video later on. Like, I'll put out portions of it throughout the channel throughout the coming probably coming weeks to months, because I know sitting down for a 40-minute video might be a bit much for some people. So I think by separating it by cutscene, depending on what's going on at that particular moment, I'll do that so it's easier for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really nervous about you guys seeing this video because I put so much time and effort into this. So I really want you guys to like it, and I really want it to do well, because like I think I want to transition to this type of content on the channel. I think I want to create stories for stuff like this, and maybe eventually create my own stories for my own kind of like IP. And the story that I had written when I was in high school, I think maybe one day we'll get into that aspect, depending on seeing where this goes. Like, obviously this is strictly a Mortal Kombat channel, so maybe if I do that I might do a different channel for that. We'll see. It depends on how this all goes. And you know, I just kind of want to take this as a stepping stones for maybe that in the future. That way, you know, it's my own stuff, so I can actually help out and do that. And you know, one more thing I want to touch on with the voice actors, like I feel like, you know, I underpaid a lot of these voice actors because some of them were actually really good, and like I really wish I had more than a finite amount of money to pay for these voice actors, because I think some of them did a really good job. Actually, all of them did a really good job in their own way. Their voice sounds so different compared to some of the characters, but I hope you guys enjoy it regardless. You know, having a more voice acted kind of showing of a story versus just me monologuing everything would have been boring as hell. So you know, I think it was cool. I think what I'll do is I'm probably gonna put some content on Patreon, and also like if you guys want to help support this project and future stories, like I'll probably put my my PayPal for now. And if you guys want to help and donate to the project, you guys don't have to, obviously. This is more of just like if you guys are invested in seeing it come out quicker, or just like the quality of the videos get out to come better, because obviously, like, you know, with me having such a finite resource, like I'm kind of like, it kind of comes out whenever I can. Like I said, at the end of the day, this is a passion project for me, so it will come out eventually. Now the time frame and where that comes out might be a little bit longer, just because of like me doing it on my own. But if you guys want to, and you guys like feel like, you know, you want to support some kind of content like this, because this is for my channel size and everything, this is a big project for me. Like I'm only 300 subs in. Like this project is huge for someone my size. Like I think a lot of times people would just take it safe and just make the same kind of content, but I'm more about out of the box type of thinking. I'm like, I don't look at my channel being too small to do something like this, but at the same time I understand like the hindrance and all that stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and if you like it, please leave a like, please comment on the video. Like even if it's just to say hi, just comment on the video. I really want this video to get out to more people, and for more people in the Mortal Kombat community, because the whole basis of this video is to create something in the Mortal Kombat community, to create something unique that don't really happen in Mortal Kombat. Like in Mortal Kombat, everyone kind of just makes the same kind of videos, like, which is like, it's cool, like, you know, everyone's allowed to do that, but I'm like, I wanted to think outside that box and do something creative, and like get something that fans can just go and watch and have an alternative type thing to this, the regular Mortal Kombat content. So that's what this is. So if you guys want to support something like that and you like that kind of stuff, I appreciate it, man. Like I said, not forced to do anything, but I appreciate anybody that does. You know, I hope you guys had a good Christmas, and this probably will be the biggest video I'll post for this year. So if I don't see you guys, Happy New Year's. Hope you guys enjoyed or will enjoy this story. I'll catch you guys later. I'm out. Peace. Stay to the end.
Our work is finished, Liu Kang.
Lord Raiden.
I am merely Raiden now. You have proven worthy to take my place as the new protector of Earthrealm, once it is restored.
You honor me, Raiden.
The honor is mine, Lord Liu Kang. The sands of time are now yours to shape. It falls upon you to architect a new history.
The fate of all realms in my hands? Raiden, I cannot do this alone.
I shall advise you for as long as my mortality allows. But have no doubt, you are up to the task.
Then together, let us begin.
With the defeat of Liu Kang's rival, Shang Tsung, all who could threaten the next timeline's safety had finally been defeated. With their defeat, Raiden and Liu Kang unbonded, and Liu Kang begins to mold the sands of time. That is, until he realizes that his control over Raiden's lightning powers were beginning to wane.
Is everything alright, Liu Kang?
It would seem manipulating the sands of time is harder than it looks. I may need a moment.
After fighting with Shang Tsung and Kronika, I'm sure that must have took its toll on you. Rest a while. We have nothing but time.
Yes, I'm still adjusting to my new power. I might have overdid it, but in the meantime, there's still something I would like to ask. Is it possible to establish true peace?
Mortals will always possess free will. It is up to them to make it happen. All we can do is plant the seeds. Kronika's obsession with keeping the timelines balanced blinded her.
Will what happened in the other timelines just happen again? In each of the previous timelines, there were only slight changes.
Not necessarily. Kronika orchestrated certain events to achieve her vision of what she thought the timeline should be. That's not to say the same events wouldn't take place again, such as the one being working through Shao Kahn or Onaga.
The mere mention of Onaga's name triggered one of Liu Kang's memories from one of his previous lives, causing him to fall to his knee. At the same moment, the hourglass began to glow, and suddenly a beam of light shot from the hourglass directly into him. He screamed in extreme pain.
What is happening?
By the Elder Gods! Liu Kang, are you alright?
After a moment, a voice much different than his began to speak. Titan Kronika has been defeated, and the current timeline has been reset. Without someone to mold the sands of time, history cannot restart. This has never happened before. This vessel, the Chosen One Liu Kang, is 50% compatible. It will have to do. He seems to not be fully in control of his powers. Raiden, you must guide him. Only with his power fully mastered can he bend the sands to his will. You still have one last role to play. Do you accept?
Are you the voice of the hourglass? And yes, I accept. What must we do when he fully masters his power?
We are. We oversee the stability of the timeline. With Kronika dead, the Chosen One must take over her role. The crown will show you the next step once he is ready. There will be a memory found in the crown inside. It will show him the location of Kronika's citadel. When he has fully mastered his new ability, he must then venture to Kronika's citadel and obtain an artifact within. He will know it when he sees it. Bring that artifact here and the final test will commence. A keeper of time must have access to all the memories of every timeline. And he will be no different. He will be granted access to all of his memories from every timeline. Good luck, former Thunder God. Liu Kang's body hits the ground as the light from the hourglass disappears. He had regained control of his body, and after a few brief moments, the pain slowly subsides. He begins to stand up with the help of Raiden.
Take it easy, Liu Kang. Here, lean on me.
I'm fine. There was a sharp pain, but it's gone now. It felt like memories from my previous lives were awakened. In one of them, I was a zombie, bound by dark necromantic magic, by an evil version of you.
I am ashamed to admit that is more than likely the case. It seems in every timeline I become corrupted. Though that timeline would seem to be the worst, I cannot fathom doing such a thing to you, Liu Kang. You are like a son to me. It just seems unimaginable, but I cannot deny it. After our fight in the fire garden, it unlocked all of my previous memories. I can only pray that you forgive me, Liu Kang.
Liu Kang puts a hand on Raiden's shoulder. He smiles at Raiden and shakes his head.
You needn't worry. By defeating Kronika, the possibility of that ever happening again does not exist. In our timeline, you didn't become corrupted. I think you're finally free of this curse.
I don't deserve it, but I'm honored to have such a great friend in you, Liu Kang. Thank you. Do you recall what the hourglass shared with us?
The hourglass? The last thing I remember was grabbing the crown, then being on my back.
Never mind. We can discuss it another time. But going back to the memory situation, there is a possibility that in time, you may unlock other memories of your past lives. I unlocked all of my memories during our fight in the fire garden, but being that you were born immortal and achieved godhood by fusing with me, there is a possibility that other memories could return with time.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but if it will help us, it might be something we should explore.
Worry not, Liu Kang. I don't see this being a bad thing. In fact, it could work in our favor, I would wager.
Work in our favor? What do you mean?
Simply that by accessing memories of your previous lives, you could sculpt the sands in a way that would declaw these evil threats before they even have a chance to harm anyone.
I see. If there is even a chance to save anyone from having to go through what we had to, then I will use these memories to achieve peace for all realms.
In order to properly reset the timeline, we must first have you master your abilities. You will need instruction on how to wield both your inner fire and my lightning simultaneously.
So, am I to be your student again then?
Come now, Liu Kang. Surely you didn't think I taught you everything I know. There is still much I have left to teach you. Remember, I am eons and eons older than you.
I mean no disrespect, Master Raiden. I eagerly await your instruction.
It was just a joke, Liu Kang. Although you are a god now, I am not. And I think I will enjoy falling asleep for the first time. But before that, we will need a place to rest.
Forgive me, Master Raiden. I was being rash.
Worry not, Liu Kang. I know you are eager to learn, but for now let's find a suitable place to build a hut for us to rest. Though you may not sleep, having a place to recover your strength is still a necessity. Without the power of the Jinxi, only rest can recover your strength.
You're right. Then I'll have to scout ahead and see if I can find a suitable place for us to make home. I will return momentarily.
Liu Kang began to realize that though he was a god now, learning to master his abilities would take time. Though it would seem flying came natural to him, he began his search nearby and only found rubble. The next area, he found countless broken planets from the many ages that littered the dimension. However, none that would be livable for a mortal. Finally, after searching close to an hour, he arrived in a strange space, one where the surrounding area seemed to have fused with parts of many timelines. He couldn't help but think how infinite this space truly was. But finally, he found it, an empty field surrounded by trees. With the location finally secured, Liu Kang decides to return to Raiden. It was finally time to start their next chapter.
Liu Kang, you're back. Any luck finding a suitable location?
Yes, Master Raiden. It took some time, but I found an ideal location for our new home.
That's excellent news. Good work, Liu Kang. Then let us go.
Raiden walks over to Liu Kang and puts his hand on his shoulder. He then raises his arm to teleport, but nothing happens. Raiden has forgotten that he's but a mortal now. Clearly embarrassed, he puts his arms down slowly, and then he shakes his head in disappointment.
This will take some time to get used to. How embarrassing.
Worry not. We both will have to adjust to our new lives. I'm not able to teleport just yet. Hold on tight, Master Raiden. I'll get us there as soon as I can.
At one point, I was the Thunder God and protector of Earthrealm. Now I'm but a simple mortal. Sorry to be a burden, Liu Kang.
Master Raiden, you could never be a burden to me. You rescued me as a child and raised me. Whatever you need, I am here. I would have never made it this far without your help. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but try to bear with it for now.
Liu Kang and Raiden arrived at the location, and for the first time since the merge of the past and future, they could finally breathe easily. Now that Raiden knew what needed to be done, they had a goal, but before that they would need a place to rest.
This is quite the location. I didn't think we'd find such a suitable spot. This is a great place to make a home.
I was surprised as well. Perhaps luck hasn't abandoned us yet. It shouldn't take long for me to make a new home for us from the surrounding trees.
You know, Liu Kang, I may not be a god, but I'm not some weak old man just yet. I shall assist you.
I meant no disrespect. Raiden, forgive me.
I know, Liu Kang, but I have no intention of being a burden to you. Now, shall we begin?
Liu Kang began clearing the trees, tossing them in a pile. He then started cutting and shaving the bark off the trees with a sharp blade he fashioned. Meanwhile, Raiden measured each log carefully and started laying down the foundation. The cabin began to start taking shape. Neither of them had any building experience, so it wasn't perfect, but a home is a home.
It took a while, but it's finally done.
I think I'm experiencing what you mortals call hunger. But where are we going to get food at this point of history? The timeline hasn't been restarted yet.
During the fight with Kronika, there were dinosaurs she would call on, so I'm sure there are some we could hunt for food.
I had forgotten all about that. Then I'll leave it to you, Liu Kang. After building this home, I'm sore all over. I think I will rest for a while.
Raiden makes his way inside the log cabin. Meanwhile, Liu Kang decides to return to the spot where he fought Kronika. Her shattered remains were still there. He decides to completely incinerate them for safe measure. Finally alone, for the first time, his mind drifts to thoughts of Kitana and his fallen friends.
What was the point to all this, Kronika? You played with mortal lives, bended them to your will an insurmountable amount of times. And look where it got you. In my memories, I can see my death in multiple timelines, and how it affected Raiden, Kung Lao, and Kitana. My friends, my comrades, would all be gone, and I'd be the one to grieve all of you. I miss them already. I'm sure if you were here, Kung Lao, you would tell me I need to kick back and relax, and not be so serious. Sonya and Johnny would probably be fighting, and Major Jax would be trying to calm everyone down. And Kitana, I wonder if I wasn't the chosen one, and you weren't the Princess of Edenia, would we have a future together? Though it has been only days since we've met, in my previous life, I can see it clearly. It feels like we've known each other for an eternity. Perhaps there is a timeline where I accepted your offer to be your king, and we enjoyed growing old together. It would seem it was not meant to be in this one. I don't know if I'll get to see any of the versions of my friends I fought alongside with. But one thing I do know is that it was my honor to call you my friends. I promised to make everything we fought for right, so that your sacrifices were not in vain.
Liu Kang destroys a giant rock and grabs the biggest piece, which he plants into the ground. He begins carving out a message for his friends. After finishing, he sits crisscross and begins to say a prayer for his fallen friends. A distant roar snaps him back to reality.
It looks like I might have wasted too much time here, but it would seem the dinosaur came to me. I should dispatch it quickly and hurry back to Raiden. He must be starving right now.
Liu Kang quickly dispatches the Rex and hurries back home. Raiden, now awake, had a campfire going. He begins to prepare the meat, cutting the skin clean off with a sharp knife he fashioned from one of the T-Rex's bones. As he begins cooking, he noticed there was a newly dug canal. Raiden seems to have been busy while he was gone.
I hope I didn't keep you waiting long. I see you found a water source. Where's it coming from?
Ah, yes. There is a waterfall deeper in the forest. It would seem it's a part of the failed merger.
How fortunate. The river aside, how was your nap?
It was quite uncomfortable having nothing but the ground to sleep on. Though not ideal, it wasn't all bad. You took quite a while to come back. Was it difficult to find the dinosaur?
No. I decided to fully incinerate the remains of Kronika. I also said a prayer for everyone who lost.
Liu Kang stays silent for a moment. There was a question he wanted to ask, but deep down, he already knew the answer. Raiden, sensing his unease, decides to ask.
You look like there's something you'd like to ask, Liu Kang.
There is. I know that this is a long shot, but do you think we will ever see any of our friends again?
That is a difficult question to answer. In a way, you will meet them again. However, they won't be the same as you remember them. As much as it pains me to say, the versions of them you remember will be gone. The experiences that made them who they are will be vastly different. Sadly, it won't be long before I join them as well. It hurts me to think that you will be alone after I pass. These new versions of Sonya Blade or Johnny Cage, you must understand, they will be different people. The experiences that molded you all into Earthrealm champions, the circumstances of your meeting will all be different. Though some might not return. For example, Jackie and Cassie, their parents met due to the Mortal Kombat tournament. Even I'm not sure if they will return in this new timeline. But as long as people have their own will, it is not impossible. However, that's far into the future. For now, let's control what we can, Liu Kang.
I think I knew that. I just hoped maybe there was a chance. But you are right. That is a problem for the future.
It will be up to you to lead me and the warriors of the next era. Trust in your training and everything you have learned. I have the utmost faith you'll do a fine job, Liu Kang.
Your words honor me, Master Raiden.
Looks like the food is ready. Let us eat. I'm quite interested in my first time eating. Come now, Liu Kang. Let us enjoy this meal you've made.
Liu Kang spent the majority of the meal teaching Raiden the proper way to eat food. But Raiden was stubborn and wanted to figure it out on his own, which led to him burning his tongue when he tried to eat a piece of T-Rex meat right off the grill. For the first time, Liu Kang and Raiden were able to relax and just enjoy the night. With no world-ending threats to face, they laughed the night away. After dinner, Raiden and Liu Kang decide to turn in for the night. As Liu Kang lays down, he can't push the thoughts of the new era out of his head. He tried not to think about it, but it just made him think about Katana instead. He couldn't stop thinking about the fact that the Katana he knew wouldn't be the same. The thought of it seemed impossible for him to come to terms with. If only there was a way he could have saved her. She didn't leave his thoughts throughout the night.
Why does fate seem always to conspire against us? To deny us life's simple pleasures.
He began having visions of her weeping in his past life as she hears the news of his passing.
If many timelines sprung from one, and we were both part of it, then you are mine.
He hears a familiar voice but can't seem to pinpoint the person it belongs to. He looks out the window and realizes it's morning now. Raiden is still asleep as his snores fill the log cabin. Liu Kang decides some early morning meditation might help ease his mind.
It would seem Raiden is right. I cannot draw on my lightning powers at will. It would be far too dangerous to proceed with the molding of the sands of time until I have mastered Raiden's lightning ability. Unfortunately, it would be out of my reach for now. According to Raiden, it was due to being in a life and death situation, as well as Master Raiden being temporarily bonded to my soul.
Liu Kang continued with his meditation. He begins having a flashback to the days of his youth, as a young Shaolin training with Kung Lao and Master Raiden, long before he participated in the tournament.
Kung Lao, you are too hot-headed. Remember, meditation is used to calm and sharpen one's mind. Relax your shoulders. You need to feel the world around you here. I will demonstrate it once again. This time, watch me carefully.
Raiden begins to demonstrate with extreme precise movement. His form is divine compared to the Wuxi masters. He cut into the wind like lightning while also being as light as a feather. His form was fierce yet gentle. Kung Lao and Liu Kang were awestruck.
Remember, meditation can help you see what remains unseen. One day, when you master the practice of meditation, you will have one of your own. Take this lesson to heart and learn it well. I don't know if I will ever get this. I don't understand why I would ever need to meditate. We are training to become warriors, not monks in the temple, Lord Raiden. Yes, you are training to become Shaolin warriors so you may represent the White Lotus in the upcoming Mortal Kombat tournament. However, a calm mind is just as important as fighting ability. Remember, one of you two will represent the White Lotus, so it is important that you use everything you learn here to your own benefit, young one. I understand. Lord Raiden, forgive me for speaking out of turn. Worry not, Kung Lao. Having a fiery will is also something a great champion needs. I remember your ancestor, the great Kung Lao, being very much the same. Why, it feels like just yesterday I was instructing him. I do not wish for you to share his fate, so learn this well. Very good, Liu Kang. You are starting to get the hang of it. But don't forget, distractions can cloud your judgment. You must be able to ignore all forms of disruptions. Show off. Ah, what was that, Master Raiden? I didn't do anything. You hear the lesson, but do not learn from it. Kung Lao, everything you learn here is to prepare you for your final test. One of you two will represent the Order. I advise you to take my words more seriously. I get it, Master. I am sorry for my outburst. It won't happen again. I will take your advice to heart, Master. Of course you will. And to make sure you learn your lesson, you will have an extra hour of meditation. So rejoice.
The flashback begins to fade, bringing Liu Kang back to reality. Raiden, who had been observing from a distance, finally decides to approach.
It would seem you learned that lesson quite well, Liu Kang.
Yes, I felt a little meditation would help clear my mind. How did you sleep?
I'm a little sore. Getting used to sleeping is harder than I thought. I think it might be the hard floor.
I will see if I can find something softer. Also, I do have something I would like to ask of you, Master.
And what is that, Liu Kang?
I seem to be having memories appear like visions, or maybe even flashbacks. While I was lying in bed, I had a flashback to Princess Katana, one where I wasn't alive. How can that be?
The hourglass might have gifted you with more than just your own memories, but memories of those around you. How intriguing.
I see. That would make sense. Also, I was remembering a time when me and Kung Lao were training to become the one to represent the Shaolin.
Ah, yes. That was a different time, when Shao Kahn was the only threat we had to worry about.
Those lessons helped prepare us for the future. I'm sure if Kung Lao were here, he would say the same.
You both were my pride. Like the sons I always wanted, I could not have asked for better students. But come, let us get to your lesson. You will need to fully master my abilities to master the power of the hourglass. Learning to control lightning is a lot like learning to control fire. When lightning strikes the ground, fire is left behind.
I see. Then how will I learn to use it the way you do, Master?
Okay, let's try something else. Close your eyes and imagine if you can. What is lightning? Lightning is a giant spark of electricity in the atmosphere between the clouds, the air, or the ground. It is a destructive force that can destroy, but it can also heal. Once you have mastered the ability, it has many uses that you will learn in time. But for now, let's try something small. I'll try and make it easy for you to understand. Let's take your fire for instance. There is many applications for fire. It can smolder your enemies away or provide a warm embrace to those around you. It can burn red or it can burn blue. Fire and lightning are just abilities that aren't necessarily destructive unless wielded that way. For example, Grandmaster Hanzo Hasashi's Hellfire when he was still Scorpion was used to seek vengeance. His only desire was to avenge his family and clan. But given time, he was able to create and use his power to protect his new clan, while ultimately being able to train Kenshi's son, Takeda. It is in the application of the ability, not the ability itself. Power is just a tool. You must first be able to feel the electricity. Search deep within yourself. Push past the fire. Good. What does it feel like?
It feels chaotic, almost like it's bursting to get out, like a wild storm.
Very good, Liu Kang. You may relax for a second. Take my medallion in hand.
But Raiden, why would you give me your medallion?
This medallion is more than proof of me being the protector of Earthrealm. It is also a tool to harness the electricity in my body. Now it is yours. Let's try again. Close your eyes. What do you see this time, Liu Kang?
The lightning seems much calmer than before. I can feel the electricity running through my body.
Very good. You are starting to get the hang of it. Try and grab hold of the lightning and bend it to your will.
It is quite difficult, Master Raiden. The lightning is hard to control, even with the medallion.
Very well. Let's stop for now. What did you feel when you tried to control the lightning?
It was like trying to grab water. I couldn't grab hold of it. Then it was chaotic and fierce. It felt like it would strike me down at any moment. It might be too much for me to handle at this moment.
Good. Never forget this feeling. This is a good place to start to really grasp how to handle your new abilities.
I understand that mastering your lightning abilities is essential for me to be able to use the hourglass. But how will I use Kronika's crown to shape the sands?
The hourglass said we could use this new ability on the crown to see where Kronika's citadel is. Though you don't have full mastery of your powers yet, I will be here with you in case something goes wrong.
Very well. It couldn't hurt to try. Let us begin.
Liu Kang grasps the crown and stares at it for a moment, contemplating the risk of putting it on with his powers not fully under control. Fujin and Jax all had issues wielding it. The hourglass said only Shang Tsung could wield the crown successfully against Kronika, but it showed nothing of him being able to wield it to mold the sands of time.
What is it? Why do you hesitate?
I'm not sure how the crown will react to my powers not fully under control. Is this truly wise, Raiden?
The medallion I gave you should give you some protection against any unforeseen effects. However, I'll take the crown off of you if it becomes too much for you to handle.
Master Raiden, I'm willing to give it a try. May the Elder...
They no longer exist, Liu Kang. Instead, have faith in me and yourself.
Liu Kang nods and grabs hold of the crown and slowly places it on his head, but for some reason the crown does not react.
Why? Why has nothing happened? Could it be that the battle with Shang Tsung damaged it?
I do not think that to be the case. Try to call forth your lightning again, Liu Kang. This time, try to use the medallion to relegate the ability.
Liu Kang grabs hold of Raiden's medallion and starts channeling his fire. Suddenly, lightning begins crackling off his body to the point where he is completely enveloped in fire and lightning. Finally, the crown starts reacting.
I can see Shang Tsung, but it's so foggy. I just need to push a little deeper.
At first, the scene was blurry, but the memory began clearing out the more power he poured into the medallion. He could see Shang Tsung inspecting the crown. Suddenly, Liu Kang began hearing footsteps. Someone was approaching the sorcerer.
Is it finished, sorcerer?
The design of the artifact was difficult to construct, even with your blueprint. But yes, it is complete. However, it will need some kind of power to operate it.
Well done, Shang Tsung. You've outdone yourself. And yes, you're right. It does need a power source. There's only one type of magic that is able to power such a powerful artifact. The power of souls. Why do you think it was you who I let construct the crown for me, sorcerer?
Couldn't you have asked Shao Kahn? He was the one who taught me how to use soul magic.
Shao Kahn was a brute incapable of crafting it. His destiny was to be a conqueror, only meant to destroy, not create. I crafted you to fill this role, and you've performed your duties quite well.
You created me to craft this crown to control the hourglass. Is that my purpose? Kronika, what is the meaning of this? You promised me a seat at your side.
Do not mistake my intentions, Shang Tsung. You are nothing but a tool to help me create my crown, so I may safely restart history. Nothing more, nothing less. Do not forget that. But worry not, you will have a place in my new era.
A tool? Have you gone mad, Chronica? I am Shang Tsung, Master of Souls, not your puppet. I control my own destiny, as you will soon find out. Ah!
Shang Tsung charges at Chronica, but before he could reach, he is flung back through a portal. Shang Tsung awakens hours later. Everything is pitch black. As he tries to move his arms, he realizes he's been chained up. He creates a light from his right hand to illuminate the area. As his eyes adjust to the new environment, he surveys the room and sees two other prisoners lying unconscious on the floor.
Chronica, damn, at least chain. Why chain me up after sending me? This must be the void you were speaking of. I can't seem to use my magic here. Something seems to be sapping my power.
Shang Tsung melts the chains around his wrists and drops to the floor.
Why keep me alive rather than kill me? You'll regret this, Chronica. I'll show you what happens to those who betray me. Nightwolf, Fujin, of all the possible prisoners, these two people I can't stand the most. But perhaps I can use them to get out of here and back to Chronica's Citadel.
The memory cuts off right before Shang Tsung wakes up Fujin and Nightwolf. Raiden rips the crown off Liu Kang's head. Liu Kang then falls to the floor unconscious. He awakens back in the log cabin.
What happened to Master Raiden?
You finally awakened. I was beginning to worry.
Why are your arms covered in bandages?
You were using far too much power and your body was under a tremendous amount of stress. The crown was beginning to overtake you. You could not seem to hear me calling out to you. The only option I had was to forcibly take off the crown.
Raiden takes off one of the bandages slowly. His arms was burned terribly. Liu Kang felt guilty. He should have stopped and waited till he was ready.
Lord Raiden, your arms. I was too rash, and your arms are so badly burned. If only I hadn't rushed it, you wouldn't have had to put yourself in harm's way.
Raiden wraps his arms again and sits at the edge of the bed.
No, Liu Kang. I feared you were lost. You are our only hope of resetting the timeline. My arms are but a small price to pay if it meant you would survive the influence of the crown. Now, rest up. We will get back to your training in the morning.
Rest? But I thought gods didn't need rest.
When they are drained, they usually have a source to restore them. But as Earthrealm does not exist at the moment, we can't use the Jinsei chamber to recover. So in order to fully restore you, sleeping is a good secondary option. Though the process is much slower, I know I said gods don't sleep, but that doesn't mean we can't rest completely. We can speak in the morning. Get some rest for now. We'll continue your training then.
So I hope you guys enjoyed the story. It took me so long to do everything, get the story set up and everything like that. And obviously I wanted to sneak in a little kind of like a prequel to the next story, where like the story itself is about Liu Kang's it's kind of like his journey from student to kind of like leading, basically just leading the way and trying to figure out how to navigate the crisis with an aging Raiden, and basically figuring out what he should do to keep furthering the objective of restarting the timeline. And that's kind of like his journey throughout the story. I don't want to give away too much because like I think the second story is a big building block for what's going to happen towards the third and fourth story. So I kind of wanted to keep a lot of that to myself for now. But the general idea of the story is going to be Liu Kang is going to be dealing with a lot of like there's a lot of emotions, because like obviously like his transition from being immortal and his emotions like into being a god, there has to be like a step-by-step how he's gonna handle all that. And I think that's what I want to do with this project. I want to make sure people understand, like from my perspective, what I think Liu Kang, if I was a story writer, how I would write Liu Kang's progression over the few games. Because like obviously Mortal Kombat's a fighting game, they're not gonna really expand that too much, so I think something like this is actually pretty cool. Like I said, this project was all about like creating something positive in the community and trying something different, and just like, you know, stepping out of my normal basically bots of just making the same kind of content. Like, and I've always like had, you know, a creative thing about me where I wanted to try something like story. I used to write books when I was a kid, so like this just kind of gives me a new element to use that writing ability and put it here. Obviously my grammar sucks, but I'll fix it, figure that out. I already have a plan of how I'm going to go about the second story and the script and everything like that. So, you know, either way, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the story. This is very different for me. I think there was a lot of cool parts to the story, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about the story overall. Like I said, this is awesome. The story was awesome to do, and just like the voice acting and working with everybody, and you know, all the support I got from the voice actors was just awesome. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. Like I said, we'll have more content coming out for the story. I'll probably post throughout the weeks and months that lead up to next year, and then, you know, when the second story comes out, you know, I'll leave out teasers, and maybe we'll do even more a more different process next time, where I have more trailers going throughout the time, so that way you guys can see more information about the story. But anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Hope you guys have a good one. Peace.